the philanthropy side of you, your heart, also dear to my heart, but really the philanthropy side of just athletes and them giving back.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, that was one of the first things that I saw about you. You took to a serious level. You came up with your foundation, B2B,
Beyond the Burrows.
Beyond the Burrows.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
What was the concept? How did you come up with the name? How did it all first start? Because Beyond the Burrows wasn't the first thing that you decided to do, but I'm pretty sure that was the end result that everybody now knows as your public charity.
Yeah, my public charity, Beyond the Burrows National Scholarship Fund, created in 07, actually when I still was playing. Went through the stint after we left Buffalo. I didn't know, well, right before I got to Buffalo, I had a little time where I didn't know if I was going to get picked up. So I was a free agent from the end of, the regular season to only to April. But, in the off season, that's an eternity if you don't get signed in free agency.
Feels like a lifetime.
The end of April, right before the draft,
Been
I was
there.
like, oh my goodness, like, is it going to happen? Is my career over? So I started thinking of other things I wanted to do. Went back home, and when I visited my school, August Martin High School, South Jamaica, Queens, see it right here on the shirt, you know what I mean? Young 2, Rochdale in the background, Queens get the money. You see what it is.
Two-matic.
Nah, it's another Queens native. You see the inspiration. But nah, so went back to my high school, and my high school was on a list of 19 schools in New York City to be closed down because of poor academic standards. Now, prior to that, when I went to high school, you had to be on the list to get into school. So now they're about to shut it down. And I'm asking the counselors, the principal, why. They was like, yo, kids just ain't motivated to go to college anymore. Financial issues, other reasons and obstacles in the hood why they can't go, or they don't feel they can go. And then just the lack of education of parents not knowing where to find funds for students to go to college at, underserved students to go to college at. So again, we created Beyond the Burrows National Scholarship Fund. We offer partial scholarships up to $20,000 over 4 years for students with a college acceptance letter, but an unmet financial need. So basically, you got a letter that's saying, yo, I can go to college, but damn, college costs too much to go to.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm thinking like, if you get that far, why would the obstacle be a financial reason where you can't go? And there's so many people so many students that want to go and can't afford it. I'm like, nah, let's remove that obstacle out the way. So now what's your excuse? You know what I mean? So created it in 07, started doing fundraisers, man. And for me, the mindset was the boroughs, New York City was just so big, right? Wherever you go, if somebody's from New York, they're like, oh, what's New York like? Back then people would ask me. And I would think even the imagery with the shirt, like a little kid growing up with these big buildings around us, you have everything you need inside those buildings. You got your pizza shops, you got your baseball fields, your basketball courts, your schools, your shopping centers, grocery stores. You got everything you need, but you got these 13, 15-story buildings around you, and you kind of stuck inside because you can't see beyond that.
Right.
But now I'm walking to school and I see kids, or adults rather, with suits on, briefcases, shiny shoes. I'm like, yo, they got money. Where they going? They going to Manhattan. Where the money at? So I'm thinking, all right, what's beyond Queens, this borough of Queens? What's beyond Manhattan? And I felt like that's where my success lied. And that's why one of the reasons why I went to Ole Miss, because Beyond the Boroughs led to me getting to the NFL. So it all started, though, from the education point.
Gotcha. So that was kind of like, it's fair to say that was your motivation.
Yeah, the educational piece.
The educational
piece. Because kids they weren't going to school because the lack of education or the lack of knowledge of how to get funding for school. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, if you can imagine, you could dream bigger than your confines, what you around, that's where your success really lies. Think about you with football. You dreamt as a kid to play football professionally.
Absolutely.
That's where your success lies. Think of any philanthropist, any successful businessman, woman, where their success lies is how big they dream, beyond what they see in front of them. So that's kind of where it created, man, where it started.
So was it I know for me, it's always a specific moment that kind of spark your interest or really just spark your passion.
Yeah.
As far as, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Let me put pen to paper, write this thing out, and now I got a game plan.
Yeah.
What was that moment for you?
I think it was a few things. Again, just going back to school and seeing everything being shut down, or in the city, and seeing schools being shut down. You don't want to see that in your own neighborhood, particularly when you've went through certain things in your life and you like, nah, I can overcome this. So why wouldn't the next generation be able to do the same thing I did? You know, everybody's not going to be able to play football, right? But everybody does hopefully go to school. You feel me? So it's like, yo, this is the reason, or this is the way to do it. This is where the easy path to success. And it was like, I met my one of my attorneys, Francis Katita. I told him the idea I had, and he told me, he introduced me to a philanthropic advisor, a lady named Jenny. You know Jenny Gostock, right?
Yep.
And my way to give back, that ain't the only way. You know what I'm saying? I chose a National Scholarship Fund, but you yourself, bro, you've been doing some amazing things for a lot of years. So talk about the ways that you give back and what inspired you.
I give back. You know, one of the things that I definitely do give back is I do a kids camp in my hometown, Sandersville, Georgia. And actually we're coming up on the 20th year.
Sure.
So, you know, so that's been something that's been true to my heart. Listen, it's been tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, man, but the reason why I give back is, for me, man, I tell you this story. I remember being in Augusta one day. I've always wanted to be a professional athlete. And I was in Augusta one day, it's right beside my hometown. And I saw this dude walking. He had a fresh pair of Nikes. Like, he just looked like somebody. I didn't have an idea of who he was. But I heard somebody say, oh, I think you're an athlete, whatever. So I just went up and introduced myself. And, you know, he was just, his words were, man, as long as you keep your head on straight, you figure out a plan, stay to the script, and then you too can accomplish what I've accomplished. And so, you know, I was like, all right, cool. He took time out of what I was more so impressed with. I felt like I had the blueprint already, but it was just the fact that he took time out of his day just to give me those words of encouragement. And so from that is what sparked my initiative with 51 Ways. And myself, me, Carlos, Emmons, we had that charity years ago. But what the spinoff from it was the football camp that I used to do in my hometown. I still do in my hometown. And going on 20 years, man, and it's a lot of work, but it's well worth it. And the reason why I do it is because it's all about giving a kid an opportunity that he never had. That's all we ever wanted. I ain't asking you to give me favor, because you technically, can you really give me favor? Maybe, but I believe, my personal belief, your favor comes from your God up top. And then he don't bestow that upon somebody's heart to allow you to have favor. But for me, it was about giving somebody an opportunity that they never had to go out and neutralize the playing field. And so that's what I always wanted to do. And that has always been my intent.